everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today we're gonna review a book instead of a movie. Let's see what book I'll be reviewing. So 2024 really came close to an end now, and Dune Part 2 seems to be the best movie of the year. But have you ever read the book? If you haven't, you click on the right video. So I've spent more than 2 months, 60 something days if I calculated it correctly, just to finish reading this book. It's a pretty hard task. It's pretty hard to talk about this book without, spoiling the context about it. If you've watched the movie already, I assume you don't care much because there's a subtle difference, only a little bit. Let's go. It's also pretty hard not to make comparison with the movie, but I will try to keep it to the bare minimum. So first I will review this book by itself and only then make a comparison to the movie. So the book was published in 1965 and written by Frank Herbert. I'm assuming the author took like 5-6 years to complete writing. This means that he came up with this idea about nearly 10 years before the publish, which was around 1955 or 1956. That era was like shortly after the Second World War, so it leads me to believe that it has so much influence and blueprint in this book, the theme of the World War. The fact that this book that talks about humans conquering other planets, leaving Earth to another solar system, hosting lives and having advanced technology before the moon landing itself, it's just so mind-boggling to even think about it. The author's imagination is like far stretched and far greater than a normal human mind. The brief synopsis of this book would be about the main character Paul Atreides at his teen age, trying to figure out how to pursue which path on this chaotic sand planet full of greedy people, full of greedy political parties. The book features so much politics and religion, which is a very creative idea. They mix politics, sci-fi, and religion in the same cart, and it makes sense to us. It's really impressive. The book really touches deeply to the roots of the current society problem involving politics and religion. It's a very silent yet dangerous weapon to manipulate people through religious belief. The book also has some great parallels to our real world. I'm not gonna say it, but you will soon figure it out after you read the first book. You will know which house represents which group of people and so on. It's not just the theme of the book, it's the complex craft of the universe itself that is really mind-bending. The setting which he created to include all the characters in there really captivates the audiences with his high-level description of words. His writing style is just unbelievable. The way he describes the settings of each event, I believe even if you haven't watched the movie, you would still be able to kind of imagine it. Imagine the picture in your head, like reality, the way he described those things in details with all his wordplay and stuff. Now it's time for comparison. So first of all, we're gonna talk about Paul Atreides, the main character. I believe Paul is a very unique protagonist. You will see the meaning of what I said in a way that his character development sort of jumped quick a little bit, but I can understand why it makes sense. So basically he has all the power and stuff, and he's believed to be this messianic figure, believed by the Fremen to be the Lisan al-Gaib, and the way he kind of manipulate people. But in the movie you can see that we can feel sympathy for him, why he chose the path. But in the book we might feel less sympathy for him because he's a bit of a menace, to be honest. So I think for the comparison, the movie and the book version is kind of like a bit close. It's a bit of a tie, but it's just the book, he's a bit more of a savage than understanding young adult like the one in the movie. Chani, I think in the movie it's a better version of Chani because in the book she felt a bit too clingy to the character Paul. She fell in love with him easily, quickly, and do whatever he said, which is not good. at all. So it's a bit of a challenge for him, for Paul in the movie, for her to protest everything he does, which kind of bring chaos, the foreseen chaos. Lady Jessica is not really that different, but Lady Jessica in the movie is a bit more evil. She doesn't care about anything. She only cares about power and, about her son becoming the Kwisatz Haderach and stuff. But in the book, she felt bad. And also, in the book, Paul controls everyone at the end of the book. Everyone. He basically tells anyone to do something, they will do something. Vladimir Harkonnen, not anything different. Fate Rauther, the book didn't hype him up that much, but in the movie they hype him up well. And Stilgar in the book, it's just, yeah. So basically everyone in the Fremen, and including his mother, follow him because he just feel powerful and stuff. So the director Denis Villeneuve made all the right calls by cutting unnecessary scenes and added new scenes that fit in and make sense. They were just enough to explain the world thoroughly without too much screen time. Screen time is precious. Every second is precious. When you read the book, only then you know that it's quite hard to adapt. Almost an impossible task. That's why 1984 version failed. They tried to adapt 500 something pages into 2 hours and 17 minutes. That's just illogical. Splitting into two movies just feels right. The climax of the books also feels less powerful. There's no big dramatic sequence of events except from our protagonist turning into something he doesn't want to be. The only unfair advantage the movie got was the visual, of course. The movie looks so beautiful and it looks exactly like what the book described. So I think everything about that adaptation, the 2021 and 2024 version, was just perfect. So I'm gonna read Messiah after I watch the movie, which is coming out in December 2026, and hopefully they don't drop the ball. Thank you everyone for watching this video. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.